Debunking the Slave Trade, Part 843, the Geechee Gullah Edition. Contrary to popular belief, the Geechee Gullah culture did not originate from African slaves. Instead, it originated from indigenous American warriors who fought against the colonists and freed other indigenous American slaves. The indigenous American slaves that escaped further south into places like Florida became known as the Seminole Indians, and the ones that escaped to the places like the Caribbean and Central America became known as the Maroons. And that's why the Gullah culture has such a similar culture to that of those in the Caribbean. Most of the Geechee Gullah people in Charleston.
A lot of folks have heard this phrase, right? 40 acres and a mule. As you say, a lot of people thought, okay, this just never happened. And your reporting is called 40 Acres and a Lie. What's the truth behind this program? What do people not know?
What people don't know is that it wasn't just a promise that was broken. People will receive land titles. We found more than 1,250 people who got land titles, men and women. They picked out their plots of land, mostly on the plantations where they were enslaved. Actually, not everyone got 40 acres, which is another misconception. It was up to 40 acres. And then people were living there, they were planting their crops, they were selling them in Savannah. Some of them formed governments, elected a sheriff. They were living their lives, and they lived there for like up to a year and a half before they were kicked off.
How did they get kicked off the land that the government gave them?
Basically, because Lincoln was assassinated. I mean, they had promised this land, they gave land titles, the government said, this is yours. You deserve it, you're going to keep it, but Congress needed to make those titles permanent. They had a majority in Congress who were willing to do it, but Andrew Johnson, he was the vice president, he was a white supremacist. He sided with the planters who wanted their land back, and he vetoed every effort to make those land titles permanent.
You did a little more research to talk about the value of the land. This is an important part of your reporting here. One 4-acre lot that you identified in Jacksonville, Florida, based on a sale last year, that it would today, 40 acres would be worth $2.5 million there. It's not just the land that was lost here in your reporting. Tell me about what else you found.
Yeah, well, just that generational wealth that wasn't passed on. You know, this 40 acres land was all the coast. It's like expensive coastal real estate. We found gated communities, golf courses, and restaurants, incredibly valuable lands. This is wealth that was not passed on, and that's kind of what we're trying to show is the impact. This is not a history lesson only, it's the impact on people who are alive today.
Hi. Sorry in advance for being very awkward. I'm extremely camera shy and I'm not used to, recording videos of myself. But I just wanted to say thank you to everyone who sent me all their love and support, friends, family, strangers, old peers from school. Thank you for reaching out. It means a lot. And
we can do and what we should be doing. Please wear a mask.
There's no reason to be walking around with a mask.
I often myself wear 2 masks.
There's an email from you concluding I do not recommend that you wear a mask.
Everybody should be wearing a mask when they're outside. People should not be walking around with masks. I wear a mask when I'm outside.
You don't need a mask when you're outside.
Wear a mask at all times when you're outside.
So even if you are vaccinated, you should wear a mask.
If you are vaccinated, you do not need to wear a mask.
Dr. Fauci, thank you for your clarity.
If you wear masks, you can decrease the likelihood of transmitting or acquiring COVID-19 by 50, 60, 70, maybe 80%.
I said masks work at the margins, maybe.
Did you know this about Lucifer?
Lucifer is actually not his name. Lucifer is a translation of his name. Because all the angels have El in their name. They have God, Michael, Gabriel, El. Who is Lucifer? Lucifer is a translation. If you check the Hebrew, his name is Hallel, which Aramaic is halal. It means crescent moon. What are most of your food products today? Halal. Whatever this spirit is going to own the food chain.
I won't be able to buy or sell.
And none of you are going to be able to buy or sell unless you got the mark.
Unless you bear the mark.
The name or the number of the beast.
Trigger warning, this one might sting a bit. The 16th largest economy in the world by GDP exists right here in the United States, and it's called Black America. Now, the numbers vary a little depending on the global economy and inflation, a few other things, but Black America, in 160 years since the end of slavery, has generated about a 1.3 trillion, with a T, economy here in the United States. Now, on its face, that number is impressive. I'm pretty sure that's the fastest growing economic group of people in world history to achieve that much financial power in that short a time. But there's a few things that make this even more impressive. See, a lot of people like to think the enslavement of black Americans stopped 160 years ago, but Jim Crow laws and segregation was just a new and modern form of slavery that we imposed upon black Americans. Their money wasn't welcome in banks, they couldn't get loans, they did not have the same financial instruments available to them as white America did. And despite that, they have just, the success is indescribable. It wasn't until about 60 years ago that our government started to recognize black Americans as equal on paper. Now we know we're far, far from getting it right, but that was just 60 years ago.